Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back, with nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome, everybody. It is another episode of the podcast for women over 50. We're Uncluttered and Unfiltered. I'm Eden. This is Christine here. Say hi.
Hey, everyone.
So, Christine, I have to tell you, I want to start this right off the bat, and I hope this doesn't hurt your feelings, but it's awesome. My husband says to me the other day, your podcast last week, he's one of the few men that listen to our podcast. He said, your podcast last week was hilarious. Christine is Larry David.
I am. I'm Larry David. No, believe me, he's not the first one to say that.
Oh, good.
I am Larry
Okay.
David. No. Tell Steve he is not the first one to say that.
So
Yeah.
if you guys have missed last week where Christine told us about her trip, you got to go back to it. You've got to go back to it. So we're going to start out. First of all, Christine and I save things up to tell each other about throughout the week. And I just bought something that should have gone in our products that we love episode, except they didn't arrive in time. So I'll make sure to post this on social or get this episode on YouTube, but I'm going to show her my new glasses. Okay. Do you see these clear frames? These are progressive lenses.
My God. I can't
Cute,
believe
right?
they're they're so
Okay.
cute.
Wait. Now I'm putting another pair of different frames over them. Do you see how I changed the color?
Yes.
Okay. Wait. So what color are they now? They're tortoise, right?
They're like tortoise. Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
Oh my God. Now they're red.
Now they're red. Wait. Here it comes pink. Whoop.
Oh
But
my
I'm not
gosh.
even done. Oh my gosh.
And they're sunglasses?
Yeah.
Oh
surprised
my
these haven't-
gosh.
I'm shocked that pair eyewear that these were not on your algorithm because I am getting bombarded. Wait, let me go back
Oh,
to my
really?
tortoise.
I always like to
Yes.
laugh and tell you on my algorithm, God, I'm trying to think. Oh, I know the latest thing I've been making, chia seed pudding. That's on my
Oh, that's your
algorithm.
new cottage cheese
Yeah,
nuts
that's
chia
my
seed pudding?
the protein, like, yeah. So I'm bombarded with every chia seed recipe you could ever imagine. Things you wouldn't even want to eat are mixed into chia seeds and cottage cheese. Anyway,
Well, when we left off last week, I wanted to know what you were watching on that long flight to Italy. So,
yes.
so tell me, what's good to binge these days?
Okay. Well, so I told you I watched Sirens, which okay, it was fine. I
I thought the
mean,
same.
yeah,
Eh,
it was busy TV. That's what I call busy TV. Like you
right.
kind of have it going on in the background. You watch it here. Yeah, I don't. Anyway,
Hmm.
but what I forgot to talk about, and it was funny because when I got back, my husband did not watch the same thing I did. So when we got back, I knew he would love this, and it was the Osama bin Laden American Manhunt, and I okay, so you're probably like Debbie Downer or whatever.
I know. I'm
But
making a face at you
yeah,
right now.
but here's the thing, okay?
What's the thing?
I think I realized two things. One, you're probably thinking, why would you watch that when you're on an airplane? And I agree, was not one of my better ideas because I started crying on the airplane. And it happens to me every single time they show the opening scene, and it's always the blue skies, and it was the most beautiful day ever. And then the first plane hits in the tower, and I start sobbing. When we went to the 9/11 memorial, we walked in, had my headphones on, standing next to this lady, and they started it, and her and I both fell into each other's arms sobbing. I mean, I told my husband, I have to leave. I'm not going to make it through. And we just walked in the door. So I wanted him to watch it because I knew he would really like it. So I'm like, oh, well, I just watched it a week ago. I'm not going to cry again because, I just saw it. Sure enough, same scene. I start sobbing and I look over at him and he has tears welled up. And I finally said, someone needs to talk about this. People who had kids in school who were in their 30s or late 20s or early 40s, whatever, have post traumatic stress disorder from this. And no one ever talks about it. Every 9/11 memorial comes and goes every September. And it's, yes, everybody says, all the things you're supposed to say. And, but I am telling you, I feel I can't remember what I did 2 weeks ago. I can tell you everything I was doing that day, everything I ate that day, what my kids were wearing that day. I mean, I feel like it's something that people don't talk about how traumatic. Don't you agree?
Yes, and so yeah, I 100% agree with you there. I think about how kids that were born after that or were very little and sheltered from it by their parents during that time think of it the way we think of things that were in our history books, but we didn't know anybody that really went through it. And I can think of a million times when an elder, an aunt or a grandmother or somebody would try to tell you about something that they went through, and you're like, "Oh, grandma,"
Right.
and it's weird to me that it's like that, that it's something in a history book versus that day that I too remember. It feels like it was 2 years ago. I
Yes.
remember being at the radio station where I worked doing the morning show, looking at the TV, reporting it on the radio as an accident. Then the other one happened.
Yep.
Um, Katie Couric was talking to her producer who was there, and she goes, "Oh my God, here comes another one." And I just remember exactly that feeling. And my boss coming in and saying, this could mean we're at war, and staying on the radio all day long. I remember where my husband was. He was down in Orlando, and my daughter was not even one. I mean, I remember it absolutely, as you said, like it was much more recent than it was.
Yes. Yes.
Now, would I watch the documentary right now? I know the correct answer is absolutely never forget. When I'm watching a show, I feel like, well, it's an important thing for people to watch. But then you were telling me, yeah, but then you get to see the procedure of how they eventually got him. And so
Yeah.
that feels like that would be satisfying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That part, first of all, and you didn't realize how long it took to get him. Like they do it in a way and they lay it out in a way like, 6 months since the attack, 1 year since the attack. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
a timeline and why it took so long. And from the CIA's perspective, which I don't think anyone ever heard
okay.
from the people that were working during that time and their feelings and how they were feeling and how they felt like everyone blamed them. And I'm not going to get political here
Right.
because that's just not my thing. But to see people like grown men from the CIA all can't talk because they're so emotionally, moved by what happened, it's heart wrenching. But like you said, and I think this is why it's worth watching, is the end result of exactly the SEAL team, everybody how secretive it was, and what a different world everybody was living in at the time of all of it. And I mean, the whole thing just was so well made. I think
I'm
that's what it
sold.
was. It
Okay,
was
you
so,
sold me.
yeah,
I didn't think you'd be able to sell me on this documentary, but
I
I'm
think
sold. Say
I think anyone who watches it now, listen, is it a fun, happy topic?
if
If
it
you're,
is, I don't know if we can be friends
I
because
was
that
gonna
sounds terrible.
exactly. No, it's not. But I definitely think this is what the younger generation is missing knowing about 9/11 is there was no social media hardly at all back then. I mean, at all,
Hmm.
basically. So people can't understand what that was like to go through this, and there was no social media. And so I mean, I just think it was such a different time, and for people to forget how traumatic that was for the people that lived through this, and for they have people that go on and talk about people that went into those buildings. It was so
Hmm.
well made, and I think it's definitely worth watching. I wouldn't do it on an airplane ever again,
Yeah,
though.
that's a fascinating
Ever,
choice.
ever,
Tell one
never.
more time the full name of the documentary.
It's on Netflix, and it's Osama bin Laden, American Manhunt. So it's
Okay.
how they caught him. That's
Now,
basically.
a big gigantic pivot for you. Have you watched Four Seasons yet on
I
Netflix?
have not. I think I have not because it got kind of mixed reviews.
That's kind of where I'm at. It was okay. We watched it and it was entertaining, but it wasn't top of the list best thing ever. And I mean, there was some great acting in it. It's eh.
I think because I love the original.
Yeah, I don't remember ever
I loved
seeing the
it.
original, but I remember my parents seeing it.
Yeah, I really like the original, and I don't know, don't get me wrong, I'll probably watch it at some point because right now, in my opinion, there really isn't a lot of good stuff
Mhm.
on. Uh,
I don't know if you can hear thunder in
I
the
hear,
background.
yeah, boy, it's
Yeah,
about to
so
pour.
yeah, so there it is thundering
Ooh.
behind me. Ooh, so anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's just not a lot on. I tried that show Stick last
Oh,
night.
about the golfer,
Yeah, I couldn't get even
Owen Wilson. Yeah,
I didn't have
I'm
an interest. I wonder what Mitch thinks.
he hasn't watched it yet, but
Right,
you
I
know
wonder what he
that
would
one with
think.
John Hamm?
Yeah.
I did watch that, and I absolutely love that with
Okay,
Amanda
which
Peet and John Hamm.
yeah, what's that one called again? Because I
Something
do.
Neighbors,
Yes, yes.
yes, and it's on Apple TV. Well,
Okay.
first of all, I am a huge John Hamm fan. I mean,
Mhm.
huge, since the Mad Men days, but he really was good in this. I mean, really good. I highly recommend that. I didn't love the last episode, the very last one, but I don't know. Lately, I think everything ends weird when you know,
Mhm.
everything I
It's
seem
almost
to
like too much cliffhangery. I don't know
yeah,
what the reason is you didn't love that
yeah.
one, but I mean, definitely cliffhanger. I was trying to remember what else. I actually texted my husband. I was like, "What have we been watching lately?" Because I just couldn't remember. And
Watched
he,
Mobland too, which I really liked, and then heard it wasn't being renewed. I hate when that happens too,
ugh,
because you're, like, into a show and you're so excited and then, like, "Wah, wah, no season 2." So but I
sorry.
really liked that a lot too. That was on Paramount Plus. And there's nothing that's like knocking my socks off,
Yeah,
you
not
know?
so
I
much, not
mean,
so much.
yeah,
So are you acclimated from being back from Italy?
I am acclimated, but ladies, after 50, it took me a while. It wasn't quick. It took me, I would say, like a full 7 days to get really back into the swing of everyday normal life and getting on a better sleep routine. My sleep was so messed up, but I'm back.
Did you drink a lot of coffee? I didn't ask you that because
Lots of coffee
the
over
book I'm
there.
reading right now, they're all excited about the coffee.
Lots of coffee, lots of everything you could imagine, the ice cream, the gelato, pastries, what you see and read is exactly what it was. Eating a lot,
A lot, a
a
lot,
lot.
and running from volcanoes.
Yeah, and running from volcanoes, those poor people.
Well, I wanted to tell you a little bit too about my week because I hit this weird spot in my week. And I was like, if only I had someone to talk about this with. And then I remembered I've got a couple thousand ladies that I think
Yeah.
could potentially relate to this. I don't often go around. I mean, we're hanging our hat on being the age we're at. I mean, basically, this podcast is totally based on that. But for some reason, in the outside world, in my life around this podcast, I just suddenly hit this weird wall where I was like, I feel old as hell. I
Yeah,
can't
but
even
your
just.
birthday's coming up. If I'm gonna analyze this,
Mhm.
your birthday's coming up, and although it's not the big 60, which I cannot wait for, it's 59.
Yeah.
I feel it's okay. I feel that it's the runner up of the year to come because that last year from 59 to 60, everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna be 60. Oh, you have 6 months till you're 60." I think that's what's happened. It's
Yeah.
like you're in that runner up year starting in a couple weeks.
Runner up here. The penultimate is what they
Yep,
call it. Yep.
yep.
Almost the finale, which it
Yeah,
shouldn't be a finale, but it feels like one.
yeah, but you know what happens? I felt that way that whole year, my whole 59, and
You
then
did?
oh, I did. I was like, just I want
Gosh.
60 to be here so I can stop hearing about you're going to be 60. It's almost here. You have a month till whatever. And then it came and went, and I was like, oh, thank God it's over. Like that lead up. It's like this, and then people kept saying, you need a big party. You need to do this. And I'm like, I just wanted to come and go. I just wanted to be here already. So that's what I think it is. I could be wrong, but you're a couple weeks away from
And it only just
start.
started about a week ago. And I was like, I don't know what it is. And I was with one of my girlfriends the other night and I said, I don't know why, but I suddenly feel it. Like I just feel sad about the passing of time. Like why? I mean, because I don't have the joy of the grandkids thing going on.
Yeah, but
Not that
you
that's
will.
never going to
You
happen.
will.
I may or I may not, but that's not like a ship that has sailed by any means. It's just not something
No,
that's very
no.
close to happening. So, but I have that like I'm in a younger woman's career kind of deal, and I think social media is bringing me down to the point where I'm making a real effort to not look at it as much because I tell myself and I believe that to stay relevant and everything, I need to be looking at it. I need to be, no, but I think it's depressing me. And I think that has to be a rampant feeling. I think that there are probably a lot of we women out here who are getting depressed because we're looking at social media too much. And you've said this all along. This isn't something new, but I've never really been that on board with it to where I feel like it's rocked my world. And I'm
Well,
feeling sad. I got the blues.
I think that has a lot I didn't know that part of it, but that has a lot to do with it. Number one, and I'm sorry to say this, but people are so mean. They are
Hmm.
so mean. And I'm just saying from seeing, like, if you go on social media and just read comments of people that, like, say you're looking at something like a pretty dress someone's wearing, and then people come out of nowhere and they're not even talking about the dress anymore. It's
Right.
like, "Oh, what's that thing on your arm?" Or
Hmm.
you have wrinkles on your hands," or "Are you gonna get that thing removed off your face?" It becomes nothing about what the person has posted. And that's when we were in Italy and gone for 2 weeks, I literally made a conscious effort that I'm not going to look at TikTok, look at Instagram, look at anything. I'm going to really just take a break and kind of live like Italians do, very relaxed and laid back. It was part of why I think it was so relaxing. It
Mm.
took time. I mean, Americans aren't used to like kind of unplugging. And so you're like, now what do I do? Now what do I do? But I think that's what it is, because I only go on social media usually for business, like to do stuff regarding work. But I've kind of have gotten off really just sitting there looking at it day in and day out. Now, don't get me wrong, like the chia seed pudding thing I was telling you about. I'm on it more for recipes and cooking, because I've really lately got into like cooking in my kitchen a lot. I think that's different. Although someone could be making something with their hands and someone will be like, "What's that thing on your hand?" I'm like, "Oh my God, they're cooking." It, I just think you really have to have a high threshold. And then a woman that popped up in my feed who's like 55. Everyone told her she looks 65 and that she should stop saying she looks good for her age, because she doesn't. And then a woman went on there and said, "Why are you asking people how old you look if you don't want to hear it?" So then it became this big battle, because everyone's like, "If you don't want to know, then you shouldn't." And I'm like, oh my God, this is so boring and so high school. So I think that might have something to do with it if you've been on social media a lot. It can be depressing.
And don't you think AI there should be an AI, since there's so many things to do with AI now on social media, where you can be like, make a picture of me walking in
Right.
outer space with my dog. Don't you think there should be a thing where you can literally say to AI, other than the algorithm deciding, but literally speak to it and say, do not show me anything that is not going to be beneficial to my job. Here's what my job is. Or beneficial
Have you
to
tried that?
eating. To say, don't show me things? Is
Yeah.
there a way to do that? How do you
I'm
do
telling
that?
you, AI can do anything. And that's another thing I think that the problem is, because nobody knows what's real anymore. And so they're
Mhm.
commenting on things that aren't even real. Like it could be something that's made up and they're commenting. And then someone always pipes in. This is what I like, that one person that pipes in and goes, "It's fake. It's not real." And then I laugh. I just, it's almost like reading the comments is more fun than
Always.
watching. Yeah, because you see how people have absolutely no care of anything of what's going on really, and they just want to make you feel bad about yourself. You know what
Now
I
I do
mean?
I did realize something. I don't know if you realize this, but this is the thing with Threads, the social media
Yeah.
platform called Threads. Threads is paying people based on the interactions they get. So that you've got 100 million people out there that are saying very controversial, stupid things to try to get people to chime in.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
know that.
yeah. So the next time you're scrolling through Threads, and here I am saying stop scrolling, but I'm just saying if you're going to look at Threads, you have to know this. People are getting paid for causing conflict. So you've got people out there that are intentionally poking the
Yeah.
bear, and they're saying stupid things. The one I saw yesterday said something like, am I a jerk for if I got a wedding invitation that said no kids, but I couldn't find a babysitter if I bring my kids anyway? Am I the jerk?
Yeah.
Well, of course you
That's
are, but
stirring
and
the
you know
pot.
that.
Yeah.
You know that you're just trying to stir the pot, or hey, I'm just going to say it, and then they say something completely unbelievable that could even
Right.
possibly be their opinion,
Right.
and they're
Right.
really only trying to get people to chime in and get in an argument, and then cha-ching, cha-ching. I don't claim to know how it works, but they're making money every time that happens.
And I never kind of figured that out, believe it or not, on how you make money off, you know, whatever, how many comments you get, whatever. But that's also part of the problem, because
Right.
if people are making money off this nonsense, they're going to keep doing it. And so I think, I don't know if this is true, but I think down the road at some point, people will limit their social media looking at it, whatever, to 1 hour a day, or with a timer, whatever they do, because mentally, mentally, it is not good for anybody.
I think I'm getting to that point. I think I'm now to that point where I can say there's a low, maybe not even low key, maybe high key addiction, like an
Yeah.
addiction.
Yeah. I think
And
everyone's
it's
addicted to it.
causing mental duress for me, like really making me feel sad. And also the idea that someone is asking me my opinion, but they don't really care what it
No.
is. They're just trying to make money because they
Yep.
want me to comment. That's very discouraging. So you just have to you've got to know where to go to get the answers you need. You've got to know that the people that are supposedly existing to make you feel better or do better in your life maybe are really not into your best interest at all. It's just hard. And it's great to surround yourself with people like this group, because if you don't, who are you going to tell that to? I'm not going to have that conversation with somebody who's 30 years old. They don't. Hi, it's Eden. Christine and I have had more conversations than we can count about how some days just feel harder than others. You know, those days when you're doing everything right, you're eating healthy, you're working out, but your energy just still crashes or your mood takes a dive out of nowhere. Nobody is safe when that happens. We've come to realize that it could be hormones. And so if you have felt that way, Happy Mammoth has something that can help. The makers of Hormone Harmony offer a quick 2-minute quiz designed to uncover the root cause of these stubborn hormonal symptoms. It's easy. You just answer a couple of questions about what you're experiencing and where you're at in your life. People who take the quiz really do find personalized insights into their hormone levels, and they give recommendations like Hormone Harmony. It's an herbal formula crafted to support hormones in a normal range, helping with occasional bloating, chronic fatigue, weight gain, the mild mood swings. With over 40,000 five-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, those results speak for themselves. So if you're ready to start feeling like yourself again, and that to us is what it's all about, head over to happymammoth.com and take that free 2-minute hormone quiz. For a limited time, get 15% off your entire first order with the code UUPodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com, UUPodcast for 15% off today. Get it?
Well, and also, I mean, I even read something that said this younger generation, it isn't getting out and socializing as much anymore because their socialization is all on social media. So they don't have to leave their house and go meet a new person, a new friend, join a group or do anything because their socialization is on TikTok. And they actually think the people that they've never met in person, and I mean ever, are their true best close friends. And I think that's insane only because how can you be best friends with somebody that you never ever see in person? They could be AI and be fake.
I hate the idea of that. But you know, I do like the homebody attitude of this generation coming up. I like the fact that homebody has become so accepted that when I was at Target yesterday, the first thing I saw when I walked in was a pillow. I took a picture of it, and the pillow says "Lover of Canceled Plans," and I was like, "That's hilarious that there would actually be a pillow that says "Lover of Canceled Plans."
Well, speaking of that, you have to admit when someone texts you and says, "Oh my gosh, my kid's sick," or "I just threw up," or, you know, something's come up, my mom broke her hip, whatever it is, okay? Secretly, you're like,
Right?
"Oh, thank you. There is a God. Thank you, thank you, thank you."
Yeah.
You're like doing a happy dance. You know what I mean?
We have to
Secretly.
normalize. We have to normalize, and I know that's such a Gen Z thing to say. Let's normalize, but let's normalize when we make plans with our friends, asking each other, "Now, are you doing this for me, or am I doing this for you? Because if you're
Exactly.
doing this for me and I'm doing it for you, why don't we have a Zoom happy hour?" Which I know is the opposite of what you just said. Where how can you be friends with someone you've never met? Because you really can be if it's an authentic face to face. Like I know during the pandemic, I actually through another friend met a few ladies that I've never met in person, and I do consider them to be friends. Absolutely, I do. Maybe not best friends. Certainly, they're not going to be my next of my emergency contact.
No.
But Yeah, I mean, just this whole thing, like when you make plans with someone and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know how to tell her I can't make it. Trust me, you can tell her. She's probably going to be stoked.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying even with the younger generation. They're just like not they're like, "Okay, if we can't go out," or even my daughter's age, who's in their 30s, they're like, "Yeah, I'm good to stay home and,
Right.
eat dinner at home and watch a movie or whatever." So, yeah, people have finally joined my world. It's so exciting.
Being a homebody. That FOMO, that fear of missing out. Here's another thing that has happened to me recently. This all within the last week. I realized, so not to overcomplicate the backstory here, but I had this position, for those who are not local, I had this position on this TV show, and I left for 2.5 years, still did a radio show, and then came back to the show. In my absence, this very glamorous, sweet as sugar, amazing young lady, millennial, took over. And even though she was only here 2.5 years, she was socially huge. Like she was at every party, after party. If somebody was like doing a big event, she was going to MC it. She was doing everything, really taking a big old bite of that apple. And so when I came back to that position, I think I had put this incredible pressure on myself to try to not be the granny that's not going to do those things. Like in other words, they all got used to having this person hosting this lifestyle show that was also part of the lifestyle.
Right.
And I suddenly realized that was depressing me too, because it's just not me. It's just not me. I have my own things I do on a regular
Shifted.
basis. And
You've
that's
shifted.
just not for me. So
Yeah.
I have to admit it. I don't, we had this conversation years ago when we said we don't want to go to the after party because we don't even want to go to the party.
Right. Well, I'm happy to say though that you finally have come around because you had so much dang energy. I thought she's never gonna drain that battery. I mean, she is gonna go until I couldn't believe how much energy you have. So you finally have joined like the almost 60 crowd where it's like, yes, I want to go and do things, but God, I love being at home, or I love doing something simple and easy and no makeup or whatever it
Right.
is. I think
That's
that's
it.
part of getting older though. You don't want to put that kind of effort into a night out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I haven't lost that physical energy where I almost have to do things physically or I go crazy, but it's the introvert slash extrovert in me where I'm getting too tired. Emotionally, I can't keep up. I can't keep
But
up the pretense of it.
But also, maybe it could be that you used to have the energy to be able to go out and do all those things and then still go to work 5 days a week from 8 to 5 or whatever it is. And
Mm.
that's part of it too, because you're thinking, I used to be able to do that. And I
Mhm.
just can't do both anymore. I can go to work 8 to 5 and show up and do great, but I can't then go out after work, do something till 10 o'clock at night, then turn around. That's a lot, I
I mean, when
think.
the sun goes down, my
I go
body
down.
clock, I feel like, it's nature.
Yep,
We're not supposed to be out here.
I agree. I think that that's part of it. What you're going through is accepting that that change is
Yeah.
normal, not weird. It's
Mhm.
normal.
I know. I
It's normal.
know. It's normal to have lines on the sides of your face. It's normal to want to, and I did this post again. I keep going back to social media because I have a problem, I guess. But I posted something the other day without any makeup, and I was like, "Look at these lines. This is me. This is it. These lines, they're none of my business." I mean, yeah, am I going to still go get Botox? Am I still going to try the rock patches that you recommended? They just came from Amazon. Thank you. Am I still going to do all of these things? Yeah, I'm going to try, but I'm also not going to do it in a way where I'm trying to fool anyone. Because that's what's exhausting is when you feel
Yeah.
like you're trying to fool people, to me.
Yeah, I don't think there's fooling people anymore, though. I
Yeah.
think that, unless you're using a filter, that's the only way to fool people. But
Mhm.
here's the thing I think about filters, which are very funny. Um, so say you use filters all the time, but then you run into somebody in person
They're gonna think you're
and
sick.
you don't look like that. That's my worst fear is like, what if I start using filters, but like I actually know people in my own town and then they're like, she doesn't look like that in person.
Hmm. Well, I did that the other day. I used a little filter. I looked for the most natural one I could, and then in the course of it, I turned my head, and you could see it slide off my face. You could
Oh,
see
really?
exactly the filter, and I was like, "Oh, I delete, 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 delete."
Oh,
Um,
that's so
I
funny.
just because I was just like, I can't become that person. I have nothing against filters, by the way. I think it was Daisy Fuentes. Wasn't it Daisy Fuentes who a long time ago said, I'm gonna use a filter. If you want me on social media, and I guess there was an outcry or a demand for it. She's like, this is me. If you're gonna come into my home, I'm gonna use a filter. And that's just what's gonna
I
happen.
agree with that though. I think if that makes you feel, I mean, now
Yeah.
listen, I wouldn't use a filter that changes like everything about you, meaning like your nose structure, your eyes are green instead of brown, whatever. But I think if you want to use
Yeah.
something that softens, why not? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't have beef with anyone for any of it. I
Yeah.
just I just know from my experience over the past, and I keep saying it's been a week, but we all know these things build up and then you notice them. So who's to say how long it's been brewing in me? But I just hit that wall, and then once I started speaking it, it felt better immediately. So I mean, if that's
Stay
you,
off- You know
ladies,
what? I think the test is stay off social media for like 48 hours. Just
okay.
give it 48 hours.
Hmm.
And if you feel better, I think there's your answer. I mean, that doesn't include like looking on Amazon or Pinterest or
Hmm.
like to know it or whatever else, because that to me is different because you're not
Right.
getting
That's
people's comments.
hmm.
But
Hmm.
things like that, where I just think if that, you'll know after 48 hours if that's the real problem. You know what I mean?
We have I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I feel it's very unlikely that this person will find out. But there's a young person I work with who does a lot of the social media, and every time she sees me and I'm shooting something, she's like, "Let me make sure your lens is wiped." I'm like, "Why don't you just call me grandma, you little?" I'm like, "Come on."
Well, but the lens thing, I have to say, I learned that from a younger person.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. I mean, she says
But
it
do you
without
know how
provocation.
dirty your lenses are? Like
I wiped it
I'll hold
already.
my phone like this, and
Uh,
like this one girl said, you know, you may want to wipe that before you start taking pictures or videos because like your fingerprints are all. And I never, ever, ever thought of that until she said that. I
oh,
never did.
really? I guess
No,
because I have
never,
kids that have
never,
said it to
ever
me, but
thought about it. And so I started doing that every time, even if it's just a random picture I take, because she was right. All my pictures came out so much more clearly.
But you are more evolved. See, this just goes to show that you're more evolved. You've passed through this year that I'm going through right now because here I was taking it personally, and you're like, that is a great piece of wisdom. Thank you, young person.
Yeah. But don't be hard on yourself because I feel like that's normal, right? The
Mm,
lead up the year before the 60th. Honestly, if one more person asked me what we were doing for I literally
yeah.
was going to like pull my hair out of my head. I mean, everybody kept saying, well, we got to celebrate. We got to, what do we do? Should we go hike a mountain? Should we go to a spa? Should we, I'm like, I just want to go to bed and wake up and have it be over with. And then I'll do whatever I want after it's over with. So, hindsight of advice, enjoy 59 and don't worry about 60 till it's here. And there's nothing to worry about, as they say, and I kind of feel this way now. Um, it is another year you're alive on this planet. So,
Given the alternative, well, but okay, so that's the other part of it. A few people from my high school. Are you in the in memoriam for your own high
oh
school
God, yeah,
Facebook
it's the
group?
most, you talk about depressing, most depressing thing I've ever seen, ever.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get out of it because I don't want to not know. But man, that's one way. Oof, is that a want? You say Debbie Downer?
Well, and also, what's really depressing is when you're on those and then you see the name and you recognize the name, but then you click on it and the picture is like an old person. You're like, I'm old. You know what I mean? Like the picture doesn't look anything like in high school, because it's 50 years ago for me. So of course it's not going to look like they did. But your mind doesn't connect to that at all.
No,
You know what I mean?
absolutely not.
Your mind, someone sent me, oh, I think it was you. Oh,
What did I
Sean
say?
Cassidy.
Oh, yeah. You did
And
not like that.
well,
You did
you
not
know,
like that.
the thing is, I haven't seen a picture of Sean Cassidy in a really long time. So when you sent that to me that he was coming in concert here, all I could think of is, why does he have gray hair? It's Sean Cassidy. He shouldn't have gray hair. And then I told you, God, that makes me feel old. Sean Cassidy's gray hair makes me feel old. That's what it's really all about. It's not about Sean Cassidy.
I
about
think
how-
I would like to go to that concert, though. I know our
I told you I'd be your
I-
wingman.
I know our girlfriends from our favorite podcast, the Pop Culture Preservation Society, had him on, and I'm actually working on that too now that he's got a tour again and he's coming to town. But I think it'd be fun to go to because I'm hoping, and I believe this is probably the case, that he has a really good sense of humor about everything. I mean, the
I
thing
do-
about Donny Osmond is,
He's
okay,
all
pretty
all
serious.
business.
He's pretty
all
serious. Like,
business.
this is the family business
Yep.
because he's such a huge talent. I mean,
Yeah.
those who don't know the talent of Donny Osmond, you're kidding yourself. You're fooling yourself.
Right,
He was
right.
born and raised a triple threat versus Sean Cassidy, who kind of like was on the Hardy Boys and they're like, you're going to do some singing because we need some extra cash coming in. You know, his mom was Shirley Jones, you know, like that kind of thing. But something that freaked me out is, I don't know if you saw this, but Sean Cassidy, not Sean Cassidy, Donny Osmond has added
The AI.
the AI
Yeah.
younger version of
And
himself.
I would totally go because here's the thing why I would go. That's what you really want to see is the younger Donny. Now, listen, Donny Osmond was great. We had such a fun time. But you really, in your mind, want to see the AI Donny Osmond singing
At
Donny
14.
Osmond at 14. That's what you really came for. And of course, the older Donny Osmond can't hit those notes anymore. in
Which I
Puppy
thought
Love.
he handled it in a really cool way.
He
For those who have
did.
never seen his concert or it on YouTube, or a lot of you guys don't care, and that's fine too. But from a marketing perspective, they did this big launch, this nationwide launch where they wanted a kid to sing his high notes. And so they show the video of this really cute kid and they intermix it and the kid sings all the high notes. So now instead of that, they're, I guess, going to have this hologram or this AI version. And
But it's his grandson.
Right. So they released this
Yeah.
creepy thing where he's sitting next to his grandson and it keeps going back and forth. Where
Yeah.
it's his grandson's face and then it's AI's face.
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's just
Yeah.
wild.
I would definitely go see that just because, like I said, in my 62-year-old brain,
Mhm.
that's the Donny Osmond I really want to see. Do you know what I mean? Even though
I
it's creepy
do.
and weird.
I do. We all have
Um,
those people.
Yeah. So anyway, but listen, I think Sean Cassidy's also great. I'm older, so he wasn't my guy, but I
Mhm.
still liked him and I loved his
Right.
brother David.
Well, his
God
brother
rest his
David,
soul.
I love reading all the stuff now about what a mess he was
Oh, yeah,
during
it was
that time.
sad.
I mean, just like bagging the babes and the drinking
We
and
need
the
a
weed.
We need a good Netflix documentary on David
Yes.
Cassidy.
The whole Partridge Family would
Yeah,
be
like that
fantastic.
whole like a really good Netflix documentary, like the Menendez brothers one, but it's about the Partridge Family and everybody
Yes.
in the Partridge Family. Oh, God, I hope someone's listening. That would make my day, my year. Anyway,
I would love that. Well, look at that. We barely planned for this episode, and here we are at pushing 40 minutes. So,
oh my goodness.
I mean,
Okay,
the
everybody.
time flies. The time
It
flies.
does.
So, listen, if you have a topic that you want us to cover, great. Let us know. And also, in that same spot that I'm about to tell you where you can do that, you can also let us know if you're feeling the angst that I'm feeling. It's also a place you can let us know about a documentary or a great streaming show. I want to see more participation in that ladies only page. Some of you guys are doing that. And we appreciate it, but I want everybody to feel like, you know, you're not the administrator of this Facebook group, but you're certainly welcome to chime in and be the one who posts something. So please do that. And it's ladies only. It's Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only. That's the name of the Facebook group. Of course, Uncluttered and Unfiltered is on all the other socials and everything. like us, review us, do all of those things. Believe it or not, somehow magically they help get the word out to other people. But this should be a catharsis for all of us, not just me and not just Christine.
Yes, I agree with that. I love reading everything everybody says. I'm big
Same.
into the reading of all comments.
Yes, we love reading comments.
I love reading comments.
We really do. Okay, so the angst you feel when you're getting close to a birthday because, hey, listen, it's better than not having another birthday to look forward to. So that melancholy feeling, why don't you just let that go?
And don't look back.
Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.